Someone had posted about, is forgiveness possible even after the death of your mother? So I'm going to give my reply. Sometimes I don't think it's possible to forgive some people for what they've done because they don't deserve it. Why should we have to forgive those who knew exactly what they were doing at the time? These are the ones who intentionally set out to pain others on purpose. Why should we have to forgive them? My mother died a year and a half before my son found me. All the years of her absence that my kids were out of my life, I prayed for her death because I didn't want her there when my kids found me, because I didn't know, or I didn't want more problems created from her between me and my kids. And I remember walking up to her during her showing. Get ready to walk into the room where she's laying there on her table because she didn't have a casket. She was getting cremated. And as soon as I hit that doorway, I can feel her screaming at me in rage. Get her out of here. I don't want her here. She doesn't belong here. And she was yelling at me, telling me she didn't want me, and I'm the only one who could hear it. But because my mother's actions were so intentional, I can never forgive her for the things that she did and the things that she said about me to so many people. She went to great lengths to play the role that she did to me. She went from family member to family member to family member on all of my mom's side, and I have a really big family, and anybody on my dad's side. And she would literally criticize me, and she would make them believe all kinds of things that were bad about me. And I couldn't defend myself because they refused to listen to me because they thought that I was lying about everything. And there was no trying to prove myself because people would not allow me to prove myself because they could not believe me through any of the lies that she had been saying. And she did this to agencies. She did this to other people. She did this to the courts. She did this to any attorneys, any caseworkers, and she made them believe all kinds of bad things about me. What she was saying, I have no idea. I remember watching her talk and listening to her big words. And in the end, these people would say, we just can't help you out. You're going to have to find somewhere else to put your kids because we can't deal with your mother anymore. We are tired of listening to her talk. We're just done with it. And in the end, what happened was there were no other options for me as far as having help for me with my situation, as far as a place to put my kids at the time, since they were refusing to let them come home to me. And I just can't forgive her for her putting so many obstacles in my way just because she hated me so much. It didn't have anything to do with who I was as far as my living arrangements. It had to do with who I was as the fact that I was a daughter she hated. So for me, forgiveness is not an option because the damage cannot be undone. I just go on with my life and have to live the aftermath of a situation that can't be fixed. I find love where I can because for some reason love doesn't exist in my world. I've never been able to truly find somebody who can give me that. So I make do with the situations that I live in. Um, so my mother's hatred for me is so strong that it swarms the ozone layers even after her death. I can feel it. And I just have to accept it and just deal with it. And there's so much that goes into my story without trying to explain everything for everyone to understand. But the moral of the story is it comes down to competition between a mother and a daughter. The mother did not love her daughter, so she took every opportunity she could to knock her daughter down further and further and further. And in the end, she ruined my family. And the price I pay is the loss of the relationship between me and my children. And for that reason, I can never forgive or forget my mother, because my hatred is so extremely strong. It's horrible. I'm stuck. That's why when I talk about this or I make these videos about my situation, I have to step back for a while and take time away from it, because it gets me thinking about everything, and then I just get so stressed out that it just lingers more and more, and so I have to take a break because I got to get it off my mind. So if you're able to follow my story and you're listening and you're able to comprehend some of the bits and pieces of the things that I say, then I want to thank you and I commend you for being able to have patience with me. But this is my story. So